Everybody, how y'all doing? Um, it's time to talk about this fight right here between this man, Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. Look, I'm all for people taking risk in life when it comes to boxing, MMA, Muay Thai. I get it, and I'll never tell another fighter who to fight and what to do. But in my humble opinion, Jake Paul is gonna get destroyed in this fight. Of course, in a fight, anything can happen. I know anything can happen in a fight. We all know that. But Anthony Joshua is a legit heavyweight. Not barely a heavyweight. He's a heavyweight specimen and an elite boxer, former champion. Jake Paul, YouTuber turned boxer, has decent boxing skills. In my opinion, nowhere near Anthony Joshua. I still can. I'm not gonna lie. I still can't believe this fight is happening. Jake Paul's about 6'1", 6'2", maybe. Gonna weigh 220. Anthony Joshua apparently is coming down in weight to around 245 at 6'6". You know, Anthony Joshua knocked out Francis Ngannou in short work. And Francis Ngannou is a dangerous fighter. So if you do the boxing math, if Anthony Joshua knocked out Francis Ngannou early in the fight, and I think we all can agree that Ngannou will destroy Jake Paul. What do you think Anthony Joshua is going to do to Jake Paul? This fight is getting to be dangerous, y'all. I really feel. Look, I know Jake Paul was supposed to fight Tank Davis, and that fight broke through for whatever reason. Tank Davis is literally half of Anthony Joshua's weight. Sorry, half of Jake Paul's weight, because Anthony Joshua is bigger. But when I first heard that Jake Paul wanted to fight Anthony Joshua or Francis Ngannou, I was like, is he for real? I thought I thought Jake Paul was trolling us. This fight is happening, y'all. This fight is happening 100%. This guy, Jake Paul, thinks he could knock out Anthony Joshua. we are we are definitely living in an alternative world. The world we are living in right now, the world that we are living in right now is just crazy. Anthony Joshua is gonna knock out Jake Paul, and it won't be pretty. Jake Paul might end up in the hospital, y'all. I'm not even trolling, I'm not exaggerating. I don't want that to happen. But I cannot believe he wants to fight Anthony Joshua. 6'6", 250 pounds, pure muscle, better boxer, much more experience. Look at the size difference. I know size sometimes don't mean anything when it comes to fighting. Sometimes, I get it. But who out there really think Jake Paul has a chance? Really? Come on. Come on. Anthony Joshua, to me, this is the easy payday for him. This is light work. He's going to knock Jake Paul out in the first round, y'all. For sure, he's going to knock Jake Paul down a couple times in the first round. And I think Jake Paul, one of the times he gets knocked down, I don't think Jake Paul is going to get up. I really don't think so. Because, look, I give Jake Paul credit. Lots of respect. Because what he's doing is definitely deserves respect. No doubt about that. So I give him respect. But my thing is, I don't know how much Netflix is gonna pay Jake Paul, but I'm telling you something right now. I don't know what amount of money will make me get into the ring with Anthony Joshua. And I'm a fighter. But I fight at 145 pounds, and I'm not a boxer. Jake Paul is a better boxer than me, obviously. And he's bigger than me. But why would he take a fight like this, though? The money must be good. When he was going to fight Tank Davis, Jake had a humongous size advantage. Tank Davis is a better boxer, obviously, but Jake Paul had the size over Tank Davis. So, and Tank hits hard, but I don't know if Tank will be able to knock out Jake Paul just because Jake Paul has decent boxing and Jake Paul is a big guy and this and that and blah blah blah. I I don't think Jake Paul would have been able to hit Tank Davis. Just playing the just playing this fight is absolutely ridiculous. Yes, it's very ridiculous, man. I can't believe this fight is happening. Like, think about the world that we're living in right now, where Jake Paul, a YouTuber, is fighting a world class former heavyweight champion. I know Anthony Joshua is saying the right things and this and that, but I think deep down inside, Anthony Joshua knows this is the easy payday. Easy payday. And Francis Ngannou should have probably got this fight because they called Francis first for whatever reason, you know. And Francis turned it down because Francis said, "Don't try my," Francis felt disrespected. Anthony Joshua said, "Hey, that's easy money. There's no reason to hate Paul now. This is impressive. Even no, no, no. Paul has my Paul had my respect before, but after this, Jake Paul has definitely my respect now. He been had my respect, but just for him taking this fight, I gotta say that takes some balls. If Jake isn't KO'd in the first round, the fight is fixed. Thank you. I agree. I hate to say that. I agree. I do agree. And that's a question. I don't know if this fight gonna be legit. I think it is because Anthony Joshua, Hearn, I think Hearn manages him, and Hearn looks like a good, has a good character. So I think this fight is gonna be actually a real fight. I don't think at least on Anthony Joshua's team, I don't think they're gonna try to fix the fight. What I do think, what might happen is I think Jake Paul is gonna get knocked out, but I don't think Anthony Joshua is gonna hit him with his. I don't think Anthony is gonna hit him with all his, punching power. If that makes sense. The odds are only Joshua minus 1,000. That's already a little. Thank you. It should have been more than that, right? Minus only 1,000. Again, I don't think the fight is fixed. I think most likely what's gonna happen is that I think for sure Anthony Joshua is gonna knock out Jake Paul, but I don't think Anthony Joshua is gonna punch Jake Paul with all his punching power. I just don't think so. I think Anthony Joshua is gonna take it easy on Jake Paul. In my opinion, that's what I think is gonna. So the fight's not fixed. I just think Anthony Joshua is not gonna go full force. You hear me? That's what I think is gonna happen. So, because Sean Strickland was a bigger underdog against. Yeah, I can believe Sean Strickland. Yeah, Sean Strickland was definitely a big underdog. So the odds. I mean, the odds should have been. I mean, it should have been minus 100,000, right? Is the height going to be a factor? It depends. Anthony Joshua is 6'6", Jake Paul is 6'1", 6'2". It depends because if you're the shorter fighter, usually you want to get in. Longer fighters want to stay on the outside. But my thing is, man, I mean, Jake Paul is not really known for. Remember, Jake Paul mostly fights guys that's smaller than him. So Jake Paul is used to being the guy on the outside. He's not used to being the guy on the inside. Wait, it should have been minus 3,000, minus 100,000. So if Jake Paul is smart, Jake Paul is gonna be obviously the lighter, the lighter fighter. Jake Paul should just stick and move. It's called getting on your bicycle. Jake Paul should get on his bicycle and just keep moving. Make this fight ugly. Make this fight boring. He cannot take a straight punch from Anthony Joshua. He will go down and it won't be pretty. I'm not hoping this happens, don't get me wrong, but Jake Paul might end up in the hospital, y'all. Jake Paul might actually end up in the hospital if he tries to go blow for blow, against Anthony Joshua. Francis still has it working up. Thank you. Francis is still sleeping. So imagine if Anthony Joshua did that to Francis. If Francis, we could all agree, if Francis and Jake Paul fought, Francis will destroy Jake Paul. We all agree with that. So if Anthony Joshua destroyed Francis and Francis will destroy Jake, what do you think Anthony is gonna do to Jake? This, you know, this fight should not have been sanctioned. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This fight should not be happening, y'all. I can't believe the state, sanctioned this fight. I can't believe it. You know. I think respect. He has my respect. Jake Paul has my respect. No doubt about that. He had my respect before, but after this fight, just even if he gets knocked out in half a second, the fact that he took the fight against this guy, I still can't believe it's happening. I still cannot believe this fight is happening in a couple of days. Yeah, y'all. It's only a few days away. What is this world coming to, chat? I don't know how much he's getting paid. Maybe 50 million, 100 million. I don't know, because Netflix has money galore. So I don't know how much he's getting paid. But I tell you, would it be better for boxing if Jake actually joined the boxing league? Also, do you feel Jake, has gotten better as a fighter since he started? Yeah. So Jake definitely got better, but Jake got better. I mean, don't get me wrong. Do you think Jake is willing to lose? I think in Jake's mind, if and when he loses to Jake Paul, I think in his mind it's still gonna be a win because at least he fought Anthony Joshua, I should say. So yeah, so yes, very good. Jake Paul is legit and all, but Joshua is a beat. Joshua is 6'6", 250, 255, easy. All muscle. Jake Paul is used to fighting guys smaller than him or 80 years old. Anthony Joshua is still in his prime. Just knocked out Francis Ngannou. Just lost recently, but still, I can't believe this fight is happening. I keep saying that. I cannot believe this fight is happening. I can't believe that. Because this fight is happening. I never thought in the year 2025 Jake Paul is gonna step in the ring. Mind you, it's only a couple days. So this is my prediction for. I don't like making predictions. This is how I think the fight is gonna go. He could have finished Mike Tyson. I know, right? And Mike Tyson is 60 years old almost. This is how I think the fight is gonna go. In my opinion, I think the fight is gonna go where Jake Paul, as soon as the bell rings, Jake Paul is gonna keep moving around, moving. All right, Jake Paul is gonna be. It's called getting on your bicycle. Jake Paul is gonna move, and as soon as Anthony Joshua is gonna throw a lot of feints, like fakes, and watch Jake Paul overreact. So what? Anthony Joshua is gonna fake a punch, and watch Jake Paul just overreact. And I think as soon as Anthony Joshua touches Jake Paul, even if it's a soft punch, I think Jake Paul is gonna go to the ground. If Tommy Fury fought Anthony Joshua, who will win? I agree with your prediction. Thank you. That's a good fight. Fury, Joshua Fury, both tall, big guys. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. Actually, I don't know who will win that fight between Fury and Joshua. That's a good one, actually. Fury 6'9", Joshua 6'6". I don't know. I gotta think about that one. He's talking about the younger Fury. You said Tommy? Oh, Tommy Fury. Oh my gosh. Oh my bad. I read that wrong. Yeah. Anthony Joshua will have him for lunch. I thought you meant. I didn't see Tommy Fury there. Yeah. I mean, yeah. He have him for lunch. You know. But yeah, I do think so. That's what I think is gonna happen. I think once the bell rings, Jake Paul is gonna run around the ring. run around, run around. Anthony Joshua is gonna throw a fake or a feint. Jake Paul is gonna overreact, and then as soon as Anthony Joshua touches Jake Paul, even if the punch is kind of soft, Jake Paul is gonna go to the ground. I think. I think personally. You know, not saying he's gonna throw the fight. I don't think Jake Paul wants to get hit by Anthony Joshua. Jake Paul beats Joshua, then fights Usyk. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. okay. That's definitely ain't happening. Jake Paul beats Joshua and then fight Usyk. Man. Ironically, Joshua is training with Usyk, right? You know, that's a good one though. Yeah. So I look at the end of the day. Let's call it chat. You know me. I'm always gonna be chat. I'm always gonna be straight up with y'all. This is the money grab for Anthony Joshua. Let's be real. Who are we kidding here? This is the money grab for Anthony Joshua. Okay, it's all about the money. All right. He knows it's an easy fight. He knows it's a tune-up fight. This is like a sparring session for him. Not even a sparring session. This is like a little, freebie. Yeah. Oh no, yeah. If by some weird, you're right. If Anthony Joshua loses to Jake Paul, boxing is pretty much dead. yeah. I mean, you're right. Again, I don't think it's gonna happen, but in theory, anything can happen, right? But nah, if Jake Paul beats, imagine if Jake Paul knocks out Anthony Joshua in the first round. Imagine that. That means if you bet 100, you win 7,000. I don't know. I mean 7,700. If it edges out a decision. No way. The only way Jake Paul will beat Anthony Joshua by decision is if Jake Paul runs the whole fight, hits him, and then runs again. If Jake Paul runs for the whole 8 rounds and just tags him every, it's a one time around, meaning that, Anthony Joshua chasing him the whole night, then maybe he might, but nah, ain't happening. Jake Paul is gonna get knocked out, bro. Jake Paul is gonna get knocked out, in my humble opinion. I think it's not even close. I think. Thanks for answering my question. You're welcome, man. Thanks for your support. Appreciate you. Yes. I think Jake Paul might end up in the hospital, and I hate to say that. So I'm not gonna put it out there too much, but let's just say if Jake Paul gets stunned and the referee is doing the 8 count, if he's halfway drowsy, knocked out, Jake Paul should just stay down. And I'm not one to have people give up in fights, but I think for Jake's health, I think he should not go down, obviously, but if he gets knocked down badly and he's wobbly, I don't think he should answer the the 8 count. But look, who am I again? I'm not his manager or his agent or whatever. Jake Paul can do whatever he wants. Jake Paul is, just for him taking this fight, he has my respect. But I trained with amateur boxers before. Remember, I'm an MMA fighter by heart, and I know, and a Muay Thai guy, but I'm not a boxer. When I train with amateur boxers, they light me up. Okay. And I consider myself a decent MMA. For MMA, I'm not gonna say I'm a decent striker, but I don't get hit that much. I'm mostly a grappler. But my point is, the amateur boxers light me up. So imagine somebody like Anthony Joshua, who's way more skilled than Jake Paul. Kind of pathetic, Crawford. Yeah, I know. He want to pay. That is crazy, right? I'm gonna do a video on that later on this week or something like that. That's a weird thing, right? He didn't want to pay the undisputed title fees. How much are the fees? Are they that much? I think there's more to the story, right, chat? So that's not. I'm gonna dig deep into that and see what's that all about because that kind of make no sense to me. I saw the thing today. Crawford retires. I mean, he knows it in his heart he's a champion. Obviously, when he fought Canelo, man, what a class! He took Canelo to school, and and I like Canelo, but man, he took Canelo to school, man. You So that's my thing. It's like, man, my thing is, give me a second. My thing is, here we go. Sorry about that. My thing is, chat. I I think Netflix is gonna pay him nothing more to, you know, nothing more to if he doesn't want to pay the undisputed title fees that you have to pay. $50,000. I mean, he's a multi-millionaire, so it shouldn't be nothing to him. But I guess he's making a stand. He don't want to pay it. I guess. I mean, so $50,000. Wow. I mean, that is a lot of money. I ain't gonna lie. But I guess he's ready to retire. You know. Hey, I'm not gonna count his money for him. So if he wants to retire because of that, but he would make $100 million. Thank you, thank you. Easy, easy. $100 million in rematch. Easy. Maybe he's doing it out of pride. Maybe he's doing it as a statement, right? Maybe he don't think it's right. So I guess he's making a statement. But you're right though. In a rematch, he'll make at least 70 million. At least 70 million in a rematch, right? At least 70 million. Even 50 million. It's still. But maybe he's making a stance. I don't think he thinks that's right to do that. You know. So sorry about that, chat. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing, man. He'll make so much money in a rematch. And I think Canelo wants a rematch also, right? Yeah, I think Canelo wants a rematch. So it's again, Chad. This is the crazy world we're living in right now. So I don't think. Look, my opinion is I don't think Terence Crawford is gonna be retired for long. I think I think in a couple of months he's gonna come back to boxing. This is what I think is gonna happen. You know, that's what I think. You know, I just hope he don't wait too long to come back. Cause I don't think he's gonna retire. Yes, he retired, but I don't think he's gonna stay retired for long. I think he's gonna take some time off, enjoy his, retirement, quote unquote, and then in about 6 months or so, or even a year, he might get the itch again to go box. And that Canelo fight is still out there, but he cannot wait too long because Canelo's getting older. I, I think Canelo did the same thing, right? Did he? He's going to lose the undisputed because he didn't pay the fees and then come back like everyone does. Yeah, exactly. That's what I think he's gonna do. He 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 quote unquote retired, and then probably take a year off, relax, travel the world, and then come back next year and be like, okay, I'm out of retirement. That's what I think is gonna happen. Because man, he's a fun fighter to watch, man. He's a fun fighter to watch. What he did to Canelo, man, you have to admit that was a piece of art. What he did to Canelo was just like awesome, 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 awesome. You know, but my thing is, I think is what's next. Tua versus Joshua in the summer. Tua versus Joshua in the summer. I think after this, I think Joshua is gonna get paid a big bag for this fight, and I think Joshua is gonna be like, man, that's maybe Joshua might take a year off, right? But cause I think, let's face it, chances are in this fight, Joshua is not gonna get touched at all. He could fight Jake Paul 5 times in one night and still walk out just fine. You know, Jake Paul might get seriously hurt, man. I keep saying that, and I'm not trying to wish it on him, but Jake Paul is in trouble. Jake Paul is in 100% trouble. But anyway, Chad, that's it for now. That's my little 2 cents, okay? Y'all, man, thanks for the support. I appreciate y'all. And then and check out my next live.